and at Your Health. Thank you so much for supporting us. We're here for you and hope to see you again tomorrow right here on Your Health. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
You know, a good tip is to spray your hands with some of Pam or whatever favorite spray you have, and that will take some of the mess away. Look how much fun this is. Don't those look good? I can't wait to get these in the oven. On the next Creative Cooking, I'll be making pasta. I'll share with you rigatoni, shells, bow tie pasta, whatever's in the refrigerator pasta, and pasta affino. You won't want to miss it.
Brought to you by Florida's Natural Orange Juice.
Say, do you catch one cold after another? On the next Your Health, we're going to teach you how to break that cycle.
That's right, and we'll take your calls. So please join us right here on Your Health.
Part of what Reality Talks is all about is trying to show people that we are created in a very unique way. It's practical and fun.
Well, we say it's a show that helps people find hope when life happens, so we talk about real life stuff.
Be brave, be strong, be oh so courageous. You can be a hero, it's not so outrageous. Stand up for what's good.
I am unwritten, can't read my mind, I'm undefined.
Welcome back to The Edge, the talk show by women, for women, and about women. We have another great show in store for you today. Anthony Clark is going to be with us, and Anthony is with Master Cuts. He will be talking about summer hair care. Summer's just right around the corner. Then we'll also be talking with Rick Staines. Now, Rick is going to talk with us about photography, about taking pictures of reptiles. And you remember the snake we had last week? Well, he would know how to take a good picture of the snake, but also little furry animals too. So we're going to have a good show over there. And Lisa Hewitt's going to be with us with the Avon Beauty Center, and she will also be talking with us about beauty tips. So we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to have Lisa on the show, and then we will be talking about skincare.
Hello, my name is Gene Stallings, and I'm standing in front of one of the homes at Rainbow Omega. As a parent, I worry about what's going to happen if Ruth Ann and I die, and there's Johnny. You know what I'd want him to do? I'd want him to come to Rainbow Omega. He can live out his life in a serene environment. Sometimes we do things just because it's the right thing to do. Helping Rainbow Omega is the right thing to do.
Need a break from the humdrum burger routine? Then visit your local KFC store in Calhoun County and see what the Colonel's cooking up for lunch or dinner. The KFC buffet features the Colonel's famous original chicken, extra crispy and roasted chicken, fresh vegetables, and delicious homemade cobblers. Or, if you're in a hurry, take home a bucket of chicken for the family. And don't forget, your Calhoun County KFC stores feature a delicious breakfast buffet on Friday and Saturday mornings. KFC of Calhoun County, where we do chicken right.
When you're on the go, it's good to know there's a Young Oil Company Grub Mart nearby. Whether you need a fill-up, a snack, or something cold to drink, you'll find it all at your local Grub Mart. Clean stores, friendly service, and pay at the pump. It's all waiting for you at your home-owned and operated Grub Mart. For quality gasoline and the best of convenience, visit the nearest Young Oil Company Grub Mart. There's a Grub Mart near you.
She turned around and left the cave, and I'm standing there by the pool of water alone, like I am in all of my dreams. And it just brought up a whole bunch of issues that...
Tym pióře nie ma atramentu.
What?
I wtedy możemy zacząć dopiero pracować.
Using a broker you can't understand doesn't make much sense either. That's why Edward Jones speaks in a language you can understand, so financial decisions get the attention they deserve. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Welcome back to The Edge, the talk show by women, for women, and about women. And make sure you really go by and see my friend Sharon at Edward Jones. She really knows her stuff. We have a winner for the $1,000 giveaway. And this is Kim Turner. Kim is from Anniston. She's one of our viewers. And thank you so much for watching The Edge. You know, we've been on over a year now.
Goodness, that's a long time.
Yeah, that's really a long time.
Quite a long time.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have another one of my friends. I know, wow. And when you get older, it's just like, you know, your grandparents would say, just like turning the pages, you know. That's right, absolutely right. My really good friend Anthony Clark is with me, and Anthony is with Master Cuts. And Anthony, we're going to talk about summer hair care.
Summer hair. There's lots of things you can do for it, you know, to help maintain it, to help keep it from looking so ravaged, you know, a cut. Certain conditioners, certain protectants, there's all kinds of stuff.
And I have to say something about the cut. You did a real good cut on my hair, and it's been a few years, a few weeks ago. We're talking about years, a few weeks ago. But you know, I really like the cut because even when you're growing it out, it looks good.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't. It's still versatile. You know, you can do a
still
lot
do a lot with it.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like you just got one basic cut and you've got to wear your hair one way.
So you've always heard it's all in the cut. It really is in the cut. And
really
the person who cuts it really needs to know what they're doing. And Anthony does. Now, Anthony is located in the Quintard Mall.
Right.
And real easy to find just around the food court.
Before you get to the food court, from the old part to the new part.
So you're going to be in a really good location.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you go to Goodies and you buy whatever you're buying at Goodies, go by and see him. And you have also some really good products. Now, I talk about Super Skinny all the time.
Yes, we have some of it in stock right now. Right now we're having a special on Biolage liters for like $12.50. You get a liter of shampoo and a liter of conditioner for $12.50 a pop. You know, when you're going to normally pay $25 for it. It's a really good deal.
That's a good deal. But you know something I noticed too about your product is you only use a small amount of it, so it's very economical.
A little goes a long way.
Yeah, because you know I'm still working on that Super Skinny.
Oh, you haven't bought it in a while, has it? It's been a while. Goodness.
And I have thick hair, and a lot of it too. But now we'll tell you this: I use it mainly on the ends.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Because sometimes some people with their hair, the root area can get too oily, and if you put too much stuff there, it can, you know, make it look dirtier before it even is.
Well, see, I still have oily hair, even though I'm in my 40-something. So I still have oily hair and oily skin. So I don't want to put it on the.
But your ends get damaged the most, so that's fine.
Right.
That works. Whatever works for, you know, every person has a different hair and different texture and different style, so that, you know, it's only up to the person, really.
And I'm gonna tell you something. My mom loves Super Skinny.
Really?
She's gonna have to buy her own bottle though. She has really dry hair and dry skin.
So you let her try it out?
I let her try it out. She loved it. Said it's the best thing she'd ever used.
Cool. She needs to come get some.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about summer hair care.
Okay.
We're going to talk about control.
Okay.
Control of your hair. Okay, now fortunately there are some very stylish haircut friends that can take some blowing in the wind and retain the shape and feeling of the style. These cuts are a precise blend of mismatched layers that can blow in the breeze, kind of like you did mine, so many layers, and then you did the razor cut, which is even better, and retain the carefree shape. It's important to remember that these styles are meant to never look the same way twice. I can vouch for that.
Yep.
That is why they're perfect for an active day. Now, see, that when I talked with you, now, another really great thing about having Anthony to do your hair, Anthony asked questions. Okay, do you want something easy? You want something carefree?
Right.
And I said yes to all of that, yes.
You have to ask the person, you know, that way you get a feel of what they're looking for and what they want to achieve. Because if you don't ask questions, you don't know. We're not mind readers, you know, and it's like, tell me what you want to get out of this, you know.
Now, this is a really good hairstyle if you have a convertible and you're driving down. I saw a lot of that, by the way. Went to North Carolina over the weekend, and I saw a lot of people in convertibles with their hair just flowing in the wind.
It's nice.
So this is a really neat hairstyle for that.
I miss my convertible every summer when it comes around. Like,
oh, you used to have a convertible?
I used to have a Mustang convertible. And my hair was a lot longer. I just let it fly.
Just let it. Especially the weekends. Take that car out and just.
But when you stop, it's like it could be all kinds of ways.
So when you're talking with someone, you always ask about what kind of control they want.
Right.
Whether they want a carefree style.
And whether or not they want something that's going to be easy to maintain, easy to take care of, easy to style. You know, if they want to keep it whereas they keep their length, can pull it back in a ponytail, or if they ever wear it in a ponytail, or you know how they would normally wear it on a daily basis, or for their job or something.
And I remember you were asking me that question too. Now let's talk about sun protection.
Okay.
For your hair.
I always say, you know, just you can wear a hat, put lots of different types of conditioners that have protection from the UV rays and stuff, and from wind damage and stuff, because you're going to be out in the sun, and if you let your hair just out there and bake in it, you know, it's gonna hurt. So, you know, you've got to protect it. If you don't, you won't keep it.
I really like your idea you had. I think it was last week, or it may have been the week before last. We're talking about putting your hair up with a conditioner. That's a great idea.
It is. It's a real good idea. Because you know, your whole hair is not exposed then, just a little bit's exposed, and that's where you need the most protection from then.
Now, you did a color enhancement on my hair. It's nice to say color enhancement now. Just last week. And so you had mentioned to me that my hair has some natural curl to it. Now, but then I was in a hurry. I didn't have time for you to show me. If I wanted to show some curl, what do I need to do? You mostly would have to take and just shampoo your hair, condition it, throw some super skinny in it. Of course, I know you would use it. You could even use some styling mist to hold the curl. So look, and just let it dry by itself. Let it dry by itself, and you would be amazed. But you know, with you being on the go so much, I would only suggest that like on a Saturday or something when you weren't gonna be like rushing out the door. Absolutely.
Jeans and t-shirt kind of.
Well, that's weekend stuff for me.
Yeah.
Now, if I wanted, let's say if I wanted another, what would be another good carefree style for me? If I wanted to keep my hair longer, should I let the layers grow out? You can let the layers grow, but maintain the layers, but just let them grow. As they grow longer, you can still keep the layers. It just won't be, you can have long layers, not as short. Now, also, I'm trying to let the bangs kind of grow out, because you told me the style right now is not really straight bangs, but kind of swerved. What is an easy, see, like right now, it's like right in my eyes. What can I do? When you're growing them out, there's really nothing you can do. You don't want to, especially if you don't want to trim them. You can trim them and maintain them, but don't cut any length of them, because if you do that, you're going to wind up cutting to where it's going to take longer for you to grow. How many times I have been tempted to get the scissors. I'm sure. I'm so sure. I do the same thing all the time. I'm like, but now you made it easier, because what you've done, instead of straight bangs, you did kind of little wedgy like.
I've notched them. You notched them. When you notch them, that gives it a little bit of texture, as well as it's still cutting off the little bit of end. That way it gives it room to grow. And that's an excellent idea too. Now let's talk about swim protection for your hair. Swim protection. You would need to do the conditioner like we said, shampoo your hair as soon as you get out of the pool or whatever, to keep the chlorine and stuff from settling in your hair. They also make some type of protective barriers, especially formulated for pools and this, that, and the other when you go swimming, to help keep stuff from getting in your hair. So
now what can get in your hair? I know the chlorine is not.
All the elements of the chlorine and stuff, or anything that's in the pool, the chemicals itself, all that can get in your hair and can damage your hair, dry your hair out, make it break, make it look ugly, dingy, green, you know, just give it some really bad color. Yeah, if you have your own swimming pool and you have chemicals in, that can really cause the green or the change the color. That's why we always say, you know, shampoo your hair as soon as you get out. That way you're washing it out, you know, quickly. That way it's not drying and not settling in your hair.
Now, you know, we've mentioned using baking soda in your hair. Should you use baking soda when you've been in the sun? Yeah, you could. You really could, if you want to lighten your hair more than what the sun's already done. But I really don't suggest it after you've been in the sun. After you've been in the sun, you just need something strong with some good moisture. It's going to, you know, repair it and going to put the strength back into it, and all the stuff that's been stripped away from the sun, because the sun really strips your hair of a lot of things. Now, in the wintertime, you always tone my hair down just a bit, and you'll put a little bit of the brown in there. Now, in the summertime, I've noticed you're not putting as much brown.
Right, because you want to warm up during the winter months, because you remember that when you get closer to winter and fall, your complexion changes, adapts to the change in season.
Mine stays pale all year round.
Really, it doesn't. It really gets a little bit paler. You just don't really notice it. Yeah.
That's why people walk up and say, "Are you feeling well?"
Yeah, that's it. But you know, our skin does change. You get a little bit more pink in the summer and spring because you're more exposed to the sun. You know, you shield yourself and conceal your body more or less in the wintertime and fall. So to add the brown pieces to your hair warms you up, makes you look a little bit more.
Look a little healthier.
Yeah, you don't look so pale. In the summer months, you don't want to have that because then it makes you look pale then because it tones out your peachy, pinkish complexion and makes that look too bad.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes absolute sense. Now, cover-ups. Now, when we're talking about cover-ups, we're talking about cover-ups for like a hat, something like that.
Exactly.
And that's for the ultimate in protection.
Yeah,
and think about your options in hats. And hats are really in right now.
Lots of hats. There's lots of hats. Lots of styles, visors, caps.
Caps are cool too.
Yeah. Scarves for when you're riding in the convertible. Some ladies put their scarves on and drive down the road. Yeah. And it's an accessory as well. It really is. And it can make your whole outfit just look totally new or totally different.
You can really dress up an outfit and change the look of a whole outfit by having a scarf on.
And if you're having a bad hair day, hat or scarf is always great to help conceal the uncontrollable manageability.
Absolutely. Well, give us your location.
We're at Master Cuts in the Quintard Mall, and our number is 835-4666.
Now, Anthony's really good. So sometimes people come by my store, which is the beauty center, Avon Beauty Center, and we're just right around the corner from each other. And sometimes they ask for you. Now, what are your hours? Because they're really upset if you're not there.
My hours are crazy.
They're varied, aren't they?
Yeah, I work Mondays from 3 to 9, Tuesdays from 1 to 9, Thursdays 3 to 9, and Saturdays from 12 to 6.
So you got that. And make sure you get in contact with Anthony. And you can also check out our website, www.ontheedge.tv, and we'll be glad to give you direction to Anthony.
Cool.
The best hairdresser ever.
Thanks.
We're going to have to go to a break, and when we come back, Mr. Rick Staines will be on the show with us.
I'm Everett King with ERA King and ERA Guyton King Real Estate, and I'm here with exciting news about how to look at a house. We have brand new and exciting technology called visual tours, and from this day forward, all of our listings will have a visual tour. Matter of fact, our new campaign is called Every Listing Deserves a Tour. Here's how it works. Go to one of our websites, click on Visual Tours. Every single listing we have from this day forward will have a visual tour. Click on the hot spot, and you'll be able to go into any room in the house. It's just like being with an agent. When you find your perfect house, you call one of our professionals, and we'll be happy to help you through the process. In the meantime, go to the web and click us out.
You can get a cheap drive-through wash anywhere, but since you deserve the best, you deserve the quality you get at your only full-service car wash in Northeast Alabama at the Great American Car Wash in Anniston. From the moment you enter until you're on your way, you know that every detail is important and won't be overlooked. We know that time is important to all of us, so it's important for you to be able to get your car done. Even if it's lunchtime, you still have time for lunch. It's the Great American Car Wash. When we do more than just clean your car, we send you on your way feeling as good as your car does.
And where is this fun place? The Victoria in Anniston.
Welcome back to The Edge, the talk show by women, for women, and about women. I have my really good friend here, Rick Staines.
Hi.
From Coleman now.
Well, yeah.
Well, soon to be.
I'm sort of, I'm doing my usual every 3-year transition, yeah. I end up walking around with a load of bags, going from one place to another and not calling anywhere home. So.
I've been there before. You know, you're kind of in this transition kind of a mode. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a big step, but
that's good for you, though. We're very proud of you.
Yeah, business is picking up, so it's good.
Good. We're going to talk about taking photos of animals and the kinds of animals that you can take photos of. You should have been here last week with the snake.
Yeah.
You didn't see the snake on the show,
No, I
did you?
didn't, no.
This is from GJ's Pet Supplies. I didn't think she'd really do it, but Cheryl brought in several snakes. She brought in some
snakes are cool.
small. Yeah, but what she kept doing, though, this is so annoying. It's like, and I told Cheryl it's annoying. We had a good joke about it. She kept dropping the little microphone, and then when she would try to pin the microphone back on her shirt, well, then she would like do this, and the snake would be like
coming over to you.
Yeah, towards me.
Yeah. Well, there's some tips. Pet photography. You have to get inside your pet's brain. You know, that's not.
For some people, it's easier than others.
For a portrait, you want your four-legged buddy to feel at ease, not try to contain him or just in their favourite hangout, in a rocking chair or in front of a porch, the stoop, on top of a fridge or on top of your desk. You know, so that it's like human pictures. If they're comfortable, then they're going to make they'll take a better picture. Yeah. So many cats like resting on top of reading material. Not for the intellectual stimulation, but to prevent their masters from reading so that they can get all the attention.
So you just want to really find them in their element.
Yeah.
Kind of like we always talk about the guy who's not comfortable in a suit.
Yeah. Just get the animal in their environment.
Put them in their element.
Now, the weekend I took a picture of a Muscovy duck, and they're ugly. They're ugly ducks. They look like a cross between a duck and a turkey, because they've got that blistered red head look. And it's actually a really good picture. Almost like he posed for me because everybody was throwing bread and he stopped eating and came and just posed perfectly for me. I've got a really good picture of him. You know, I've got pictures of the ducks being fed, but I wanted one on their own. It actually came out real well. You know, so it's easy if you get them in their natural environment. It's if they're frisky or they're playing around, it's, you know, forget it, because you're just going to get movement in the shot. Some people want movement in the shot, but most of all, they just want a nice still picture. It's like the dog at home. He'll run away. You pull the camera out and he runs away. He's just now got to a point where he trusts Julie with the camera. So she can take pictures of him, but no one else can. He won't even trust me. So yeah, just get your pet relaxed, you know, so that they feel at ease. And it's just like taking human pictures, because they'll give you a better picture when they feel comfortable. They won't smile.
They can't.
Exactly. Exactly.
But you just need to have them comfortable. Like, I really like the commercial at GJ's with the bird, and I'm always laughing about this. He's just like the guy on American Idol. You know, he does this all the time. Well, the bird is in this element. Yeah. But it's like he was posing for it.
Yeah, I mean, and some of them will do it. I mean, you know, the dogs can be trained to do, you know, most things. I mean, when I was at that wedding the other week, I went to the parents of the bride's house, and they had a little dog who every night got treats. So they knew that it was going to get treats. So on the way to the kitchen, she'd be nibbling his foot, and on the way back, then she'd start dancing and rolling over and doing all these things for the treats. And it was a nightly habit. So you can actually build up like a habit thing. Not that it's going to help your pictures, but at least, you know, if you want them standing up on their legs, that you can train them to stand up on their leg to get food. And then offer them that treat, give them that treat when they've done one.
And they know, and animals are smarter than we think they are.
They know when, every time I go into the kitchen, the dog knows he's going to get fed because I'm cooking dinner. And he will not leave me alone. The rest of the time he just ignores me, but he knows when I go to the kitchen there's going to be food. So he just comes and sits there and just looks at me. Just say, when are you going to feed me?
So that might be a good chance to take a photo.
Yeah. So you've already got him trained in some way, although it's inadvertently training him, but he's going to be in a position where you can say, OK, next time I'm going to take my camera in there and take a picture of it and get a good picture of him just doing that. It's that sort of like, you know, when they lift their paw up and they're pointing? Yeah, he does that. Just say, I know where the food is.
Well, how do you take a picture of a reptile? That would be tough because they're kind of slithering around all over the place.
Well, yeah, well, you see, the trouble is you can't think of one picture. You have to think of several pictures, because you may only get one picture out of your several pictures. And again, it's just, you have to be patient. Set your camera up, make sure that you've got it on, you know, a tripod, so that it's nice and steady, and just click away, you know, and you'll find that one picture will come out really, really good. You know, especially if they're, I mean, if they're especially...
Just be patient.
Yeah, patience is patience. You have to be patient with animals, especially because they don't understand what you want, and you can't pose them. So you just have to be patient with your shots.
But I would think a snake would be the hardest thing to take a photo of.
Well, it depends on where they are, what they've been doing, if they're moving, if they're resting. Again, I mean, watch them for a couple of days, get to know their pattern, because they'll have a pattern as well. So you can, you know, pick them at a time of day where they're docile, and then get your picture in that way.
Well, they have personalities just like people do.
Oh yeah, of course they do.
You just have to find out what that is.
Yeah, and it's even things like hamsters and gerbils have personalities. Some are just real mean, and others are real sweet. And I had a funny story about that this morning. But you know, sometimes you can actually pick an animal up and have it posed. I took a picture of a puppy on Sunday, and it was very well behaved. It got a really good picture because it was soft.
Let's talk about birds.
Birds. Yes. Well, birds. Again, parrots, because they're easy to train. Make good.
So it's going to really depend on the bird.
Yeah.
What it is.
Parrots and cockatiels. And if you have a trained poly to rest on your finger, then you shouldn't have a problem getting her to pose. Chances are your feathered creature is very colourful. Creature is very colourful. Use this physical attribute to your best advantage. Anything with colour. I mean, you can set your camera as well, so the colours can really pop, and you can do, you know, more work in post photograph, so you can actually make them colours really stand out. Make sure your background doesn't clash with the colours. Again, like we've said before, background is very important. So if you can get a plain background, you'll get a better picture. Yeah, again, make sure the background isn't too busy. Just keep it simple. Stick to solid, crisp colours or white. Because white will...
What would be the best?
Yeah. White will stand out against the darker colours, and if it's really light colours and it will clash with the white, then use black. And you can just simply put a card behind them. You don't need to have a whole background, you just put a card.
So that takes a little planning too.
Yeah, I mean, and photography does. You know, sometimes you have to... I always have an idea of what picture I want in my head before I take it. So in that way it makes it a lot easier. And once you do that, you can actually set it up. Make sure that you've got your lighting, if you're going to use lighting, if you're going to use flash, what's around you, what lighting have you got there that's going to assist the flash, what's in the background, what can you change about the background. And then the last thing is bringing in the subject and taking pictures. So planning is a big thing.
Yeah, that's essential in that. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about fish.
Okay, fish.
How many people actually take a photo of their fish?
You'd be surprised. Plus, you get also a lot of people who do a lot of diving and actually take pictures of fishes underwater. So if you're not going to be using your flash, your best bet is to put your camera lens against the fish tank, and then you don't get any glare or reflection, and wait for the fish to swim your way. The light from the aquarium will brighten your subject.
So should you use a flash?
No. I would say if you're intending on using flash, be sure you take a photo from an angle, because you're going to hit the glass otherwise, and you're just going to get it blown out. But normally the light in the tank is going to give you, if you've got a good camera as well, the light's going to be natural light, and it's going to be available light, and you can actually get a better picture.
If you have a tank, should you put something in the back, so the back of the tank, like a color sheet or something?
Well, you
like
can
that?
do if you've got something. If you've got a bright colour paintwork behind it, or wallpaper from the 70s that's going to clash, then yeah, just slot a sheet in behind it. I mean, you can just drape some material behind it, and that will just make everything nice and bright, especially if it's white again, because you can, and then the light's working with that, so it's actually going to give you a better picture.
Now, puppies and kittens. You have the cutest puppy photo in my store. I mean, it's just so cute. Puppies that were here one day, and you were just playing around.
Yeah. And again, that's just patience. You just, you know, you can't pose them, so you just take as many shots as you can. You can offer them food, give them, you know, little treats to look at you, click your fingers to make them look at you. If you've got someone else working with you, that's even better, because that allows you to concentrate on the pictures. But yeah, puppies and kittens make great pictures.
Is it best to have the owners there if you're doing a photo shoot on animals?
I would.
Because they're more comfortable with them?
Because again, yeah, it's a comfort level for the animal. Plus also, you know, you don't want to be lumbered with a load of animals from somebody else. So, yeah, have the owners there, and then, you know, when they finish shooting, you know, they can be moved away. And if there is a problem, then the owner can actually come in and, you know, make them feel comfortable again, so you can carry on taking pictures.
Well, what would you suggest if you have two subject matters? Let's say you have an animal, then maybe a barn that you would like to take a photo of. How should you focus?
Well,
can you focus on two different things?
Well, you can do. What you would do there is, if depending on where the barn is in relation to the animal, then I would use landscape because you're going to get everything in focus then. If you want to focus on the animal, then you focus on the animal, and then the barn will just be out of focus, but in the background. Again, that's just playing around. The way that, and one of the things I do at the moment is I actually take a background picture, and then I'll take a picture of the subject, and I'll put that picture in there, and then just airbrush and blend it in.
Now that's what you did on a photo of yourself.
Yeah.
You did self.
Well, that was an overlay. Well, what we're doing now is for Mother's Day, we were doing the backdrops for Mother's Day. So at the weekend, we were taking pictures of people at the show and literally transposing them to the computer, putting them on the background, and then copy them to disk and give them the disk.
You're doing a lot of overlays now. It seems to be popular.
Yeah, and the pictures that I've done with the overlays in and the fade-ins, people just go crazy for them. So they're the ones that are popular at the moment.
Are those images you can use on a T-shirt?
Yep, you can use those images on a T-shirt. You can actually make canvases of them. You can put them on anything, basically.
Now, what do you have here?
Oh, this is just my little point and shoot. We were trying to get someone who's over there asleep.
You keep saying point and shoot. Okay. For the rest of us out there, what's a point and shoot?
Okay, point and shoot. Really, I mean, it's a term that is really for amateurs. You know, you want something that's simple. I mean, if I'm going to go to a party, I don't want to be carrying a big camera. So I take this, which is a point, so you point it and you shoot it, and that's it. With my other camera, there's a little bit more work involved in that. And that's called a digital SLR, a digital single lens reflex camera. So you have to, you can actually manually focus that one, whereas you can't do that with this. You point at the subject you want,
and it's done.
And you push the button and it's done. And this is fine. I mean, it takes very good pictures. There's nothing wrong with point and shoot cameras. In fact, my assistant, I said she can use that from now on because she used my camera yesterday and messed up.
Oops.
So it does happen. So, you know, you can use any type of camera. It doesn't have to be an expensive camera. You can use one of those point and shoot cameras.
Well, before we go into break, let's talk about maintenance on a camera. You know, because sometimes you can get a little fuzz or dust, whatever, on the screen. Okay. Well,
the most important thing on this is the lens. Never use a cloth on the lens, use a blower.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and you can blow, I mean, at least blow the lens off first so that, you know, you clear all the heavy dust. And
you can find those very reasonable.
Yeah, and, you know, if you're a camera buff anyway, you can actually buy them from camera stores, and you know, they're not expensive. Some of them do a blower and a brush, which works just as well. So once you've blown the dust off, then you can clean it with a cloth and maybe some alcohol. Same with the screen at the back. Just keep it clean. You can get protectors. I put on this one, I don't have a protector, but on my big camera I do have a. It just stops it from being scratched, keeps the images clear. Most cameras, when you buy them, will come with a warranty, and as long as you look after it and keep it clean, you shouldn't need to worry about cleaning it too much. Just a basic dust every week, every 2 weeks.
Now, you had mentioned using alcohol. What does the alcohol do?
Well, the alcohol basically cleans off the dirt, but it also doesn't stay on there.
So it dries really fast.
It dries really fast and it just dissipates. So you don't get left with any residue and smears, because you don't want any smears. I mean, you could probably even use Windex if you wouldn't, but I wouldn't.
Just be really careful about spraying it on the camera, right?
Yeah, because obviously if you get it inside, then it's electronic. It's not going to work anymore. But I look after my cameras. They're always in bags, always in cases. And when they finish working, I never leave them in it. I put them away. And
Should you keep them in a cool, dry space?
Yeah. If you're going to leave them in a hot car, then put them in a cool box. You can put a couple of the ice blocks in there, and that will just keep the temperature just right. Because if they get too hot, then it can mess up with the electronics.
Okay.
And also, if it's very humid outside, then what happens is as soon as you pull it out,
the camera can sweat inside.
Yeah, the camera will sweat and you get all the condensation, and then you have to leave it to dry.
What if you get the camera wet? What if you forget and you have the camera on you and you're swimming? Oops, you've lost the camera, right?
Oops, yeah, normally it's pretty bad, although, you know, I've had certain electronics on me when I've gone swimming, car keys, electronic car keys, and they've worked fine. I've just opened them up and dried them out.
Well, I've had a cell phone that way, and all you have to do is open it up and let it dry out.
Just let it dry, yeah. I mean, if it's something like coffee, anything with sugar in it, forget it, because it's just coffee on a keyboard will normally mess you up, because after a while the keys are going to stick, but it's also because it's a sticky substance. Even if it dries, it's still sticky.
Well, Rick, let's give your location. We need your telephone number, your website address.
Okay, well, my location at the moment is anywhere between here, Oxford and Coleman. Okay.
Get in contact with me and I'll get in contact with Rick. How about that?
My phone number is 256-525-6796, and my website is www.rickstaines.com.
Best way anyway, and that way you can check out some of his work.
Yeah.
Some really good stuff.
And that's going to be expanded slowly. I'm going to open that up to a 20-page site and get more pictures on there. So everything is working well at the moment, so it's cool.
Sounds good. Okay, we're going to have to go to a break, and when we come back, Lisa will be back on the show with us.
I chose Antioch for my place of worship because of the worship. Because here I'm able to lift my hands or close my eyes, or however it is that I want to worship. I enjoy the atmosphere at Antioch. Every time you walk in the door, somebody is there to greet you with a smile and with a hug. You can come in here and you can worship God with everything that you want to, and I like that about Antioch.
You have to experience the worship before you can enjoy it. Antioch Baptist Church.
Here's what you need. Healthy hometown cooking prepared just the way you like it. The Porterhouse Cafe is the perfect place to meet your friends for lunch, then bring your family for supper. The Porterhouse is located just off Highway 78, across from the mall in Oxford. There's a separate large room just right for your events and meetings, plus a steaming hot food bar and full menu of favorites like steak, chicken, and shrimp. And don't miss the shrimp po' boy. Oh man. The Porterhouse Cafe. Real cooks fixing real food for real people.
Aniston Orthopedics, the premier orthopedic group in Calhoun and surrounding counties for over 35 years, located in the RMC Tyler Center. The Orthopedic Center of Excellence houses offices, casting and MRI services, physical therapy, and the Wound Care Center all under one roof. With 8 board-certified surgeons, they can diagnose and treat all sports injuries, workers' comp claims, and perform minimal invasive surgery for hip and knee joints. Aniston Orthopedic Associates, serving all 3 major hospitals in the area. Call today for your appointment. Marvin's Building Material and Home Center, your hometown store, offers a product selection that can handle any home improvement need at a guaranteed low price. Marvin's sales associates are knowledgeable and eager to help you with your toughest job. With 23 convenient locations in the Southeast, there is a Marvin's near you. So don't forget Marvin's, your hometown store, making it easy, one project at a time.
If you need assistance, please stay on the line.
When your pet care is at hand, don't you like the personal attention you get from a local store? GJ's Pet Supplies is a locally owned and operated store in Calhoun County. We've been here for over a decade, and not only have we grown to love your animals, but they seem to like us too. GJ's Pet Supplies on Highway 431 in Anniston, Alabama.
Welcome back to The Edge, the talk show by women, for women, and about women. And Lisa Hewitt is on the show with, it's Lisa. See, she's not in trouble.
That's right.
Instead
I'm not
of
in trouble.
Lisa, so she's not in trouble. So we're going to be talking about summer makeup and more. Summertime coming on.
Yeah.
That time of the year.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things you can do with your makeup. Just don't stick your face in the keg of powder and
yeah, you don't look like Tammy Faye Baker, right?
Yeah, just whatever you do, make sure you wear sunscreen. Either you know, if you're going to wear a foundation, make sure your foundation has a sunscreen. And if you're not going to wear a foundation, make sure you put something on your face with a foundation.
Oh, you have to.
With a foundation.
With a moisturizer.
Yeah. I
mean, this is one of those must. You have to.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't matter how young you are.
No, it doesn't. There was a lady in the store the other day that says, well, I don't need this. I don't have wrinkles. It's like, honey, if you don't start using something, you're going to have them
then you will.
Too soon.
And yeah, a lot sooner than you think.
Yeah.
And especially we're out in the sun more and laying out in the sun, which is shouldn't do that. I'm at that age now, so I'm older now.
Yeah.
But the sun and the tanning beds, you really need to use a good moisturizer.
You do. You do. If you don't protect your skin now, you're not going to have it later.
Well, let me tell you something really good that my mom taught me. It's in the summertime, and if you've been out in the sun, or even in the wintertime, it really doesn't matter. After you take a bath, don't dry off completely, and put your moisturizer on while your skin is still wet.
Right. I do that with the Skin So Soft oil. I love that stuff. It's perfect.
Yeah, and you can get it in different scents now. It's not just the original scent.
Yeah. And see, I like the original scent. And my husband says, "So you can do that again this summer?" It's like, this summer I've been doing it all winter. Did you miss it?
It's really good, and really we can't advertise it, but Skin So Soft does keep the bugs away.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about that.
But we do have a bug guard.
Yes, we do. And guess what? The bug guards, there's several different kinds of bug guards we have. You can get one that turns the kids blue.
Oh, yeah.
The kids love it because they get to turn blue.
You get to be a Smurf. And it's an SPF of 30.
Absolutely. And Mom likes it because that way you know you have the kids all covered.
Right. And you're getting them the skin protection, or the sun protection, and a moisturizer for their skin, which they need because skin gets dried out really bad in the summer. And it's got the bug guard all in one.
Absolutely, and like you said, the SPF 30 also. Now we also have that in a lotion for adults.
Right.
And of course it won't turn you green, so you can have fun. But it does have the same. You got the SPF 30 in it, and it's a bug guard. Keeps bugs away.
Right.
And sprays and aerosols.
Aerosols and the pumps. I like the one with the vitamin E. It's good stuff.
I do too. But now I've always been a little more into aerosols because they're a little quicker to spray on, then you're done.
Yeah, I haven't used an aerosol since I was in high school.
Well, we went through this thing, and of course you're not old enough, but through this thing in the 70s where they were telling us not to use anything
aerosols are going to damage the ozone.
Oh,
That's why I don't use aerosols. My one aerosol can's going to punch a hole through
the ozone.
Oops, sorry. And everybody in the world's going to be mad at me because I punched a hole in the ozone.
You're the reason for it.
I did. I probably shouldn't claim responsibility for that, should I? After sunblock, well, on your face, you don't ever want to go outside without your sunblock.
But even if you're home all day and you're just going to the grocery store or just going to
You get more sun than you think. You really do, through the windows, even on a cloudy day, especially on a cloudy day, because people don't realize that they're actually getting the UV filters go through, or the UV rays go through the clouds.
Right.
And people get really
driving
burnt.
down the road. I've talked with several people who've told me about having skin cancers on their arm.
Right.
And they, from hanging your arm out the car door.
Yeah.
Or the car window.
My mother never goes anywhere without long sleeve shirts, and I could be just roasting to death, and she has long sleeve shirts and a hat on. But the only place she has, and she does have some skin cancer, but she only has spots on her face. But she keeps everything protected. She said she used to burn so badly when she was younger that, and if you can't keep that kind of protection on you, sunscreen works.
Well, let me ask you this. In your opinion, I mean, we go overboard. That's what Americans are. That's what we
do. Everything.
So we go from one extreme to the other.
Right.
So if we are into skincare and if we never go out in the sun, that's bad for you too because you have to have some of the vitamins.
Isn't it vitamin C that you get from the sun?
From the sun.
You do need
So you can't go from one extreme to the other.
Well, there are some people that are allergic to the sun, but you can get that through other ways. You can get it from certain lights or what, there are a lot of lights that you can get that from. Interesting, I just recently found out that windows actually block some of the benefits of the sun. So if you, I mean, I don't know about if they block all of them, but I found out that a window actually blocks some of the benefits. So if you're laying in your living room floor in the sunshine that's streaming through, thinking that you're doing good for your body, you might not be doing as good
as you think
you are.
Now, it also could be the kind of glass you have, because the home I have is over 120 years old, so I have some of the original, you know, bubble-looking glass
Right, that's
that
true.
comes through. But it seems as if the sun is a little different coming through that than as if I go to my mom's home, which is a newer home.
Well, they might have UV protection in the windows too. I don't know.
That's very
In the
possible.
glass. Yeah. If you know, if you're not going to wear a foundation that has a sunblock, and like we said, the thing we're talking mainly about color, you know, and you never want to go outdoors without a little protection. And while you might not apply a foundation, you do need a little color on your cheeks. Stains or blush creams give just the right amount of color, and it looks natural. You know, you don't have to do a whole lot, just a little bit of something. My mother used to do this, but I think that's kind of damaging to your
Yeah,
skin.
be very gentle when you're doing that. Now, you should also make sure that the color matches your skin tone. So
Right,
some people can wear
right.
reds, and some people are pinks, and
Right.
some people are into the purples.
Yeah, that's right. You get a bright orange on somebody that can't
And it
do that
just
color, and
clashes.
it's
And you need to make sure the blush matches the rest of your makeup, too. So you wouldn't wear an orange blush with a red lipstick.
no, that's right.
And try to keep it in the same family, whether that's
Coordination.
warms or cools.
Right.
You know, something I found, this is really, I do a lot of training for Avon, and so I get to travel around and do that. But we had this really neat thing. If you're not sure whether you're a warm or a cool color, you know, we talk about that some, and people walk up and they'll ask me at the store from time to time, am I warm or am I cold? Real good way to find out. Get a silver piece of material, and you can come to the store. We can do this for you, so you don't have to buy the material. A silver piece of material, if that looks better on you, we'll drape it around your face. If that looks better, well, then we're going to say your cool color. Now, if you get a gold piece of material and put that around, and you actually look healthier with the gold, well, then you're warm tones.
Right.
So that's a really good way to find out if you're warm or cool.
right.
And a lot of it depends on your clothes, so you really need to match your clothes. So, I mean, I like to wear a lot of cool colors because I like to wear blacks, but then I like to wear warm colors too.
Coordination.
Yeah, coordination, just make sure they all go in the same group though.
Right. Right.
Now, purples on me, I look like a total dead person. I try to stay away from purples, especially purple makeup, like a
Right.
purple tone to it. But I generally like to wear warm tones.
Well, and I can wear certain shades of purples, mauves, and some lavenders, but I think we're just kind of the opposite.
Well, so you do a lot of makeovers at the store too, which is really neat. That way you can find out what colors do look good on you. I've had a few people be surprised.
Right. I picked up some colors not too long ago, and I always ask whoever I'm doing a makeover on, you know, what colors do you normally use? And then I try to do something a little bit different but not shocking, and I picked up some colors that I thought would look good on her. You know, you just kind of step back and look, and she says, oh no, I can't wear that. And I said, well, will you let me try? If you don't like it, we'll take it off. She says, oh, okay. You know, and we tried it, and she looked at it, and she was very nicely surprised. It looked really good on her.
Well, I had a lady came one time that I was at the Southern Women's Show, and this was last year in Birmingham, and this lady came with a group of her friends, and she had, I'm talking lots and lots of blue. I'm talking metallic blue. This looked like 1960, something my mother would have worn back in the 60s. And her friends were hinting to me to kind of tone her down just a little bit. She had a really beautiful complexion. She was probably in her 50s, something like that. Gorgeous complexion. So I told her I had a new technique I would like to try on her. And I did. I kind of toned her down a little bit. I used a lot of warm colors, which went real good with her hair. So I used a lot of beiges and browns. But now she was a very colorful person. She had a lot of color on. The outfit she had on was very, very colorful, a lot of different colors. She had a lot of blue. So I got just a touch of blue and put it just right here in the corner, just to bring it out, just to bring the colors out. And I'm going to tell you, she popped. I mean, she looked really, really good without using a lot of color.
I think when it comes to makeup, less is more. You want to accent and highlight and not cover up and make yourself look like you've been beaten to death or run over by a train.
Right. I mean, so you have to really be careful. But now I like to find out, everybody has a gorgeous either set of eyes, lips. Find out what that is and play it up.
Right, right.
And then minimize maybe a flaw that they may have.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I have a little lady that comes in every once in a while, and I love doing the makeup on her, and she comes in sometimes wearing a really colorful blouse, and so I try to pick a couple of colors that are, you know, she has red and green and yellow and blues all in her blouse, and it's really pretty. And I'll pick a couple of colors that match her blouse and just make it so light that you can just barely tell they're there, but they coordinate really well, and she just it just always lights her up and just brightens up her eyes just a little tiny bit.
You know, something else that looks really good, we've been doing a lot of makeovers for proms and weddings and that kind of thing. On your mascara, if you want to really like brighten the tips of your eyelashes up and make them look bigger, if you use either a dark brown or a black mascara, and then you're going to find this amazing, get just a little bit of either blue or green or purple and put it only at the tips.
The tips, right.
Right here. First of all, your eyelashes are going to look longer, they're going to look bigger, longer, thicker, and they're also going to look a lot more dramatic.
Right.
And you'll find you're not having to use near as much mascara.
Yeah, you want to be careful. You know, you mentioned the green, the blue, or the purple. You want to make sure that you are in that skin tone that, you know, either warmer, cool, that you can do those certain colors. You know, and everybody can do something one way or the other. But if you are cool and you're trying to put warm colors on your eyelashes, it might not look quite right.
Clash. Although on your eyelashes, it's not going to clash quite as bad.
Right.
You know, because this one girl that came in, and she had this gorgeous, she said she never wears makeup, and Mom was with her, and I don't think Dad wanted her to wear a lot of makeup. But anyway, she was there, and I asked what her dress color was going to be, and it was kind of an emerald looking green. And Dad said, no, I want that muted down, don't put a lot of makeup on my daughter. So all I did, we used a lot of warm colors, we used a lot of browns. Her eyelashes were kind of sparse, so we used a blonde eyebrow pencil on her, and then Dad looked at I let him look at the compact.
Right.
And I had it's kind of a forest green color, and we used the forest green right at the corner of her eyes, but it looked natural because we only used a touch, and we blended it in with the rest of the colors.
Right.
But I think the key, Lisa, is blending it in.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to just put it on there. You got to blend it.
You're right.
So, and Dad actually approved. He liked this one.
Yeah, it looked good. I saw that.
Well, he had this
really
thing.
good.
He thought we were going to put a ton of green all over our eyes, which we didn't do.
Well, I think, you know, because dads don't understand the makeup as much, you know, as some dads do because they get really involved, but some of them don't, you know, and they see the colors and they're like, oh my goodness, it looks so dark. In the compact it does, but when you put it on just lightly with the brush,
well, it's like, how many times have you looked at a dress in a dress shop and it didn't look really good on the rack, but then a friend tries it on and it looks really good on that friend?
Oh, yeah. It just makes the whole...
So you can't really pay any attention to what it looks like in the compact, because when you actually put it on the person, it's going to look different.
That's right.
We have a quad called denim. And that is the ugliest looking color.
In the compact.
In the compact.
And
but
they
now,
are
when
the
you
prettiest
put it
colors on.
Absolutely. So don't be afraid to try color.
That's right.
Now, are you finding in the summertime people can wear more color?
I think that they should actually wear less, but it depends on their skin tone. If they're able to tan a little bit better, then you know they can. It depends individually. It really does. You know, if you're...
Now, women of color, I love for them to come into the shop because, boy, you can make them look really good. The deep purples, even in the summertime.
You can put some use really pretty colors. I love doing that.
And we had fun during prom season doing makeup on them. Now, what we were talking about makeup in the summertime, sometimes your summertime makeup, like you said, you need to tone it down just a little bit. But if you've been wearing darker blues in the wintertime, you can tone that down and wear just slightly lighter shades, like an aqua color blue.
Right.
Looks really good this time of the year.
Right.
The blues and the greens, the sea greens look really good this time of the year. So, like your eye color, it depends on what you have on, because sometimes they look kind of blue, and then sometimes they look green.
And my favorite colors are greens, all shades of green. But I always wear them, so I have to be careful. You know, I just like to do different things, you know, and I get stuck in the green rut sometimes, and it's like I can't wear anything else but green. But it does it, and a lot of people's eyes are that way. They, you know, hazel, or I think is what you call it, where they change a little bit, and also depending sometimes on a person's mood, their eyes can change.
I think so too, on your moods. Now, Susan House hasn't been on the show in a few weeks. She's been really, really sick. She had some surgery, and she's not recovering too well from that. But Susan gave me this really, really good technique to use if you have dark circles under your eyes, which is really good. And it's using a really light color. What you do is you go right here with a light color. Now, she does this before and after the foundation, okay? So she'll start right here, and then she goes up, and it gives you this instant facelift.
It does.
Because what people are looking at is the light glaring on your face.
Right.
Another good technique she had was to use a lighter color here. You know, here where you start getting the wrinkles when you start getting my age. So right here, and
because
it kind
of the shadows.
Yeah, and it takes the shadows away. So that was an excellent tip.
Yeah, she taught me that also, and she was showing me, and I looked at it, I was like, wow, where did all those lines go?
And I hope Susan can watch the show right now. She lives in Pell City. But another really good technique she came up with, well, I'm not sure she did, but she learned, was blush when you're applying blush. You know, we start here and then we start going up, you know, this way. Well, the technique she uses, which is really good, is to start here and go this way.
Really?
So going opposite directions.
Oh, you know, you can change things up. I learned a interesting technique not too long ago. You know, we're always learning something different, and
be ready for change.
Put a dark, before you put foundation on, you were talking about that. Put a dark color from well, I guess from here towards the ear, and then you put, but then you want to blend it towards your eye, and then you put your foundation on, and it gives your cheeks a lift. It makes your cheeks.
It gives you the illusion.
Yeah, and then you want to put the cheek color, the actual color, and I'm talking dark color like a brown, like an eyeshadow. Put it on your brush and tap it off onto the sink or in the trash or wherever, you know, and just there. And then you put the color over top after the foundation. It does. It's all about illusion and how you can manipulate the light.
Or another good technique too is if you have a double chin and you're going out at night and your hair is going up and you really don't want the double chin to really show, you can do the same technique you were talking about.
Right.
Just go with a darker color and just go right here to the side. But now the key is make sure you blend it in. You really don't need to see the line. But be very careful when you're doing this. And really a powder works better than a cream when you're doing this technique. So make sure you just right here along the line. And then blend it in with your foundation. But like you said, use the darker color first.
Right.
And then blend in.
Right. And then you can do the lighter colors. It's fun doing different things with makeup. You can really.
And don't be afraid to try new techniques.
No. You can always take it off and start over.
Sure. That's what we tell all of our customers when they come into the store too. If you don't like it, well then we'll change it. But I don't think I've had anybody say take it off.
I've had one customer, but I knew she was going to. She doesn't wear makeup on a regular basis, and I just wanted to play. I had some new colors and I wanted to try them out, and she was willing to let me play. And you know, we took them off after we were done, and then I put it on the way I know she likes to have it on.
And how many times have we had someone look into the compact eyeshadow, for instance, and you say, I'm going to apply this, and they look with a scared look on their face like, no, don't do
like,
that
what are you
way.
going to do to me?
Yeah, but on it looks totally different.
It does.
But I like the questions you always ask. You'll always ask, is this for an event? What is the event going to be? Do you normally wear makeup?
Right. You know, those are important things. If it's a very formal dinner or some kind of event, you don't want to be globbing on extra bright colors.
Look like you. You know, that's the key, is you want people not to recognize you when you walk in the door.
Right.
So it has to look like you, but a natural phase of you.
And if you know, if it's going to be just some fun little thing, you can mix up the colors a little bit. I think never. What I'm learning, and I think what Susan has told me also is that you never want to use more than 3 eyeshadow colors, and I think that's true. I really do. You get too many and it just looks too gaudy.
Yeah, you have to be really careful. You also have to be careful using whites on your eyes, and make sure that's blended in real well, because I've seen some makeup done where you would use the white highlighter all over the whole eye area, and then use the darker here, and then maybe in with an emerald or some kind of a blue or a green right here in the corner, but they don't blend it in.
Right, and if it's not blended in, it just looks like strips of color pasted to your eyes.
Yeah, you don't want that. That way it doesn't look natural.
No.
Now, a good makeup brush will make you look a lot more natural too.
We have some really nice ones, Mark and Avon. Well, Mark is Avon, but there are Mark specific and Avon specific, and we have both of them. And of course, my daughter gets them all every time they get home. But I have a couple that I've stashed. That's right. She gets to try out everything.
Now let's talk about lips for the summertime.
Okay. In the summertime, you don't want to wear real heavy lipstick. Makes it look like you've had cabin fever. That's more for winter things, you know, really heavy colors or really heavy lipstick. You can use the same colors, but if you lighten up the consistency,
you can always tone those down.
Right.
Now, using Senegent's lipstick is really easy, because now I'm into the reds and the cherries and that kind of thing. So I have to tone it down for the summertime, so I don't look like I'm quite so.
But the Senegent's colors is basically a stain. You know, it's going on and enhancing the color that you already have, so it's not looking like a real heavy wax lipstick.
This has been a really quick show. We're going to have to call it a go. Come by the mall, and we'll be glad to talk to you about color. And thank you so very much for watching the show, and we'll see you tomorrow.
I am unwritten, can't read my mind, I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand, ending unplanned.
You're watching WJXS TV 24, your home for local news, sports, and weather.
After they're sentenced. Moussaoui requested a new trial yesterday, saying he lied when he testified about being involved in the 9/11 plot. He was sentenced last week to life in prison. The House Homeland Security Committee is discussing a bill today that would beef up the Federal Emergency Management Agency before hurricane season starts June 1st. The measure would leave FEMA under the Homeland Security Department, but would expand its powers. Responsibility for both emergency preparedness and response would also be reunited within the agency. And that would reverse a decision last year by Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff. Chertoff says turf wars between police, firefighters, and other emergency responders are delaying disaster responses. He says federal grants have provided high-tech communications equipment so the agencies can talk with each other during emergencies, but local and state disagreements about who controls the equipment are putting lives and property at risk. Chertoff says the Department of Homeland Security has spent $2 billion on the program. Now, police and fire officials say that amount only scratches the surface of what's really needed.
Some people can now return home to the lower 9th Ward in New Orleans. Health officials say the tap water in part of the neighborhood is safe. The 10-block area that got the all clear is on higher ground. People still have to boil water in other areas. Officials gave no word, no heads up on when those areas will reopen.
Permanent members of the UN Security Council have failed to reach agreement about a resolution on Iran and its nuclear program. That's despite 3 hours of discussion on it yesterday. Russia and China are opposed to threatening Iran with sanctions and possible military action if it does not stop enriching uranium. Ministers also talked about a letter Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad wrote to President Bush. The letter does not directly address the nuclear issue. Instead, it criticizes the U.S. on a whole range of issues, including the invasion of Iraq and its support for Israel.
It could be a major step forward for the Iraqi government still to be formed. Iraq's prime minister-designate says he expects to complete his cabinet picks in the next couple of days, that more than 90% of the posts are filled. He also says Shiite, Sunni, and Kurdish political leaders have a say in who gets the jobs.